PSG are not the government money, but they're still state-owned club. But Arsenal are not peasants neither. Arsenal are not going to sell their best players, especially after renewing his contract during the season. There is no chance that Arsenal will even entertain those negotiations. Last season, when Juve were actually keen on him, Arsenal did not enter the negotiations. I getting a better player. I disagree. I know I was on the other side thinking I think it's time for him to move on. But if you deep it logically, Reiss Nelson is a good squad player that can actually move from squad player to a good starter. I'll give you a reason. So let's talk about Reiss Nelson winning the Game Changer Award of the season and the links of Gabriel MAGALHAES to PSG. So before we proceed into that in details, please take a like on the video. Very, very important for the channel and the algorithm. Do not forget to subscribe if you enjoy the content too, and make sure your notification bells are turned on. So let's start with Gabriel MAGALHAES to PSG. I'm having a laugh because Arsenal are not the club of 10 years ago, who were a selling club. I am 200% confident Gabriel MAGALHAES will start this season and will remain at Arsenal. Like, PSG are not the government money, but they're still state-owned club. But Arsenal are not peasants neither. Arsenal are not going to sell their best players, especially after renewing his contract during the season. There is no chance that Arsenal will even entertain those negotiations. Last season, when Juve were actually keen on him, Arsenal did not enter the negotiations. We didn't even pick up the text, the phone call or entertain their facts. So why are we now Arsenal sell one of their best defenders to PSG? Because we don't even need the money. Arsenal can pay top wages. They can afford top players. So why would you sell our player? Nah, that's it. I know PSG will be interested because Gabriel is a top defender. And I appreciate the fact that top clubs are interested in our players. That shows how good our players are. But selling, nah, there's no chance. So let's go to my guy, Reiss Nelson. Someone say, your guy? Yes, my guy, Reiss Nelson, right? Reiss Nelson has won, give me a minute. According to Sky Sports, Reiss Nelson wins the Premier League Castro Game Changer of the Season award for a stellar performance in the Arsenal comeback win against Baltimore in March. That was a very stellar performance. He came in. Let's not forget that game were 2 goals down at home. We equalized. Reiss Nelson came in and he scored that left-footed shot in the last minute. Oh, actually, I could say the last seconds of the game for us to win that game. Now, I understand, unfortunately, we didn't win the league, but that was a clutch game. That was a game that a lot of us have the narrative that those are the kind of games you need to win a league, especially when you start poor. So, shout out to Reiss Nelson for winning that. He deserves it. And let's pivot to the fact that Reiss Nelson is actually close to agreeing and signing a brand new 4+1 contract. And I say, I like that. Some of you don't like it. Some of you some of you are like, he hasn't done enough. So why should we keep keeping him? Let's let him go on a free and getting a better player. I disagree. I know I was on the other side thinking I think it's time for him to move on. But if you deep it logically, Reiss Nelson is a good squad player that can actually move from squad player to a good starter. I'll give you a reason. Against Man City, even though we lost, Reiss Nelson came in and you could see the signs that there's a player trying to improve. There's a player trying to fight for the team, and he loves Arsenal. The game against Nottingham Forest at the Emirates when Saka got injured, Reiss Nelson came in and made that game comfortable for Arsenal. Against Bolton that we saw, he came in and scored a clutch goal. Against Brighton in the Carling Cup, even though we lost, we saw Reiss Nelson pulling his weight. There has been incremental improvement from Reiss Nelson in the past few games. It might not be as we want him to play like Saka or Martinelli yet, but you can see there's a player there. If you let him go on the free to replace him in the squad, it will cost you nothing less than £40 million minus wages. I'm not saying Arsenal should be penny pinch, but you have to be smart with these things. Reiss Nelson is a good player that can be a squad player. And if it doesn't work, he's an English player that you can still sell him. The likes of Brighton, West Ham, even AC Milan were interested in him. He is not as terrible. Since Arsenal found some time, we'll be going over the verge to criticize players or having an agenda. I get it. He can do better, and he will do better because I can see the signs, like I mentioned in the past few minutes. So signing him to a brand new deal is not a cynical thing. It's not something that is silly. I think it's a very, very smart move. He can play on the right, he can play on the left. He's very useful in the squad. Let's not forget, we'll be having a lot of games this season in the UEFA Champions League, and in the league. And Reiss Nelson will be a very, very useful squad player. Not just a squad player that can give you performances. It will be a very useful squad player. So I actually second, and I love the fact that Arsenal have looked at it rationally, more logically than the fans, and said it is worth tying him down to a brand new contract, a 4+1. And it's a win-win for the club. If it works, fantastic, and he loves the club. And if it doesn't work, you can still sell him. He's an English lad and get some money. So let's think outside the box. Leave your agenda and your emotionality on one side and be reasonable, be logical, and be sensible. So let me know what you think about Gabriel's links to PSG and Reiss Nelson winning the award for the game changer of the season, and the fact that he's close to signing a brand new 4-year +1 contract at Arsenal. Let me know in the comment section what you feel about those topics. Don't forget to stick a like on the video. Very, very important. Share the video too, like it, subscribe if you have not subscribed and you like the content. And lastly, turn on your notification bells, and I'll see you guys on the next one.